Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, I'm Radford Castro, and this is a review of the LG Lucid 2. LG's Lucid 2 is a budget Android phone, so let's face it, if you want a cheap phone, you're going to have to give it a few finer things. Fortunately, the Lucid 2 has a decent design by combining both curved and straight edges, with a sprinkling of silver lining on the sides. So the Lucid 2 is most definitely not a looker, but maybe she has a sense of humor? Not quite, but she is comfortable to hold, and by that, I mean it can cover a wide range of hand sizes from dainty to daunting. All of this is wrapped up with a carbon fiber-like textured battery cover, making for an improved grip, but the tiny ridges can get crud for those with sweaty palms. Below the display are the capacitive buttons for back, home, recent apps, and settings, with the obligatory micro USB port. And now that we're talking about buttons, the left edge has the volume rocker, while the right side has the power lock key, all of which are easy to feel for since they are raised. On the top, you have the 3.5mm headset jack and the 5 megapixel camera and LED flash along with it. Spec-wise, the Lucid 2 is a bit lower than what you'd expect with budget phones. It packs with it 540 by 960 pixels at 4.3 inches using an IPS LCD. The horsepower pushes dual-core Snapdragon S4s with about 1GB of RAM and 8GB built in. Thankfully, you'll find that when you're removing the battery cover, you'll find access to the 4G SIM slot and the micro SDHC card slot that can extend it up to 64GB. And of course, the battery itself is pretty large for a phone this size when you realize that it's pushing 2460 mAhs. On the software side, LG is at it again with nice animations thanks to the Optimus UI, and comes with 4 themes: Optimus, Adventure, Fancy, and Monsterland. The themes also change the icons, which is a nice touch, but can feel a bit inconsistent with the rest of the other standard Android icons. It does a good job making the interface attractive, but I would debate over how easy it is to use. When you have 7 home screens and an app drawer and some weird organizing that LG does, it kind of looks a little weird. For example, the settings icon does not take you to settings. Instead, it takes you to rearrange the icons. The same can be said for the camera when you're actually messing around with the live effects. The camera has a decent quality at 5 megapixels. Here's a couple of shots that we took in a variety of settings and lighting scenarios. The flash is also horrid, but again, this is a budget phone. Additionally, we also took the Lucid 2 for a spin on its video capabilities. The nice thing about the Lucid 2 is that it records the video in HD, but that's about it. It has a hard time trying to adjust with lighting and can't focus digitally. Now as for the pros and cons, the pros, it has a clean design, it's light, and it's cheap. For the cons, it's weak on the camera, horsepower, and there's just better alternatives out there. So, my final verdict, I'm giving this a don't buy. Why? Even for a budget phone, there are just better alternatives out there. Even for something that is free, you can get something for 20 bucks for the same manufacturer called the Enact by LG. And there's also the Galaxy S3, the iPhone 4S, even the A S by Samsung, all of which are budget, free, or 20 bucks. All under the same carrier as well. I'm Radford Castro for Before You Buy, and this is the review of the LG Lucid 2.